A.J. Brown is not going to stop. He is not going to stop until this team plays better. And I'm pretty much on his side.
You better do. Because I've seen enough horror movies to know any weirdo wearing a mask is never friendly.
What is going on, guys? So, definitely a lot to talk about here regarding A.J. Brown. Okay, we all know of A.J. Brown not showing up, obviously, post-game for the Giants, and then has not talked to the media at all this week. We heard Devontae Smith's, give an answer of, we might have two different, me and, A.J. Brown might have two different answers on something, and A.J. Brown is not happy the way this offense is being ran, okay? Players are going to revolt. I don't care if you just sneak past the Giants, okay? Obviously, you take 14 points off that with a slip on Goddard for a pick six, and obviously the stupid kick return, two players running into each other. That was horrible, okay? But A.J. Brown went on Twitter, and he actually put up, like, a video. He put up a video of Kevin Durant, a press conference that Kevin Durant had. I don't know if it was from this past year or from last year or a long time ago. I have no idea. But I watched it, and it was literally Kevin Durant telling the media that players shouldn't talk to the media, players that always speak positive after consistent, just depending on consistency in games. And once you fall flat, the media always wants to turn your words around. That there's no point of myself talking to the media at all as a player, as a good player, as a great player, because all you're going to do is scrutinize me every chance you get in every article that you write. And I get it. I absolutely get how A.J. Brown feels the way he does, because back in the day when like players would talk shit to coaches and players, everyone used to support that. It was a different era. Now, when something's shown on national television, whether it's an argument between player to player, coach to player, whatever the case may be with that, everybody makes it a big deal. Everyone thinks it's toxic. It's a cancer in the locker room. And look, A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts had that fight weeks ago, or that little argument they had on the sideline. And guess what? A.J. Brown put up 6 games with 125 plus yards. Other than Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown is the main reason we are where we're at right now, too. For a lot of games. A lot of games that we could have lost without A.J. Brown's production, we wouldn't have won those games. And obviously, Jalen Hurts has to get him the ball, so kudos to both of them. But if A.J. Brown doesn't want to talk to the media, if they want to fine him, which I don't know if they could do that. I mean, they probably could, but, he's going to have to talk at some point. But there might be some players that think that this offense can get on a roll sooner or later, but we've been hearing that every fucking week. Every week we've been hearing the same exact thing, okay? There might be some players like Devontae Smith that are a little bit more professional, and, Devontae Smith after the Giants game was like, yo, we need to, something, I don't care if I hit over 1,000 yards. This offense has got to be better than this. That's pretty much what he said in a nutshell. And A.J. Brown is just pissed off. I don't think he's pissed off at the players. I think he's pissed off. I don't think there's a commitment thing with the players. I think it comes down to the coaching staff. And I think part of it, too, between A.J. Brown, just for himself. And because he's confident in himself, he hasn't really been getting the ball that much. After the second, really since the bye week, he hasn't really had those big numbers that he usually had. I think he had over 100 yards a week or two ago. Which whatever. Like, I get it. But you're not going to get those 125 plus games like he was getting, and that's hard to do. 6 games, that's, breaking, Calvin Johnson's record. That's going to be a hard one to break, in the future. 2 1,000-yard receivers the past 2 years, and you're going to have a 1,000-yard running back real soon come next game with 12 yards for DeAndre Swift. 2 1,000-yard receivers, and your offense looks like this right now. And Nick Sirianni promises every single week. Finding out more news by the week of how this offense is run, between analytics, between Nick Sirianni saying they've been running the same offense the same way the past 3 seasons, counting this year, even with Shane Steichen here. That's a bunch of bullshit. And what it's really come down to is we had an offensive coordinator last year that knew how to use our offensive weapons, and he got a head coaching job because of it. Okay? He got a head coaching job with the Indianapolis Colts because of it. And I don't think anybody likes these coaches. I really don't. I think AJ Brown is the first one that's literally stepping up to the plate right now and actually saying, fix this fucking shit because it's not good enough. It's not fair to AJ Brown. It's not fair to the rest of this team. 11 wins. It doesn't even feel like it. And you have a playoff game at this point. I don't know. I don't know what to do. I don't know why they stopped doing RPOs. I don't know why he's not playing under center. I don't know why. I just don't know anymore why they have looked so robotic offensively. And I feel like the coaches have no feel for the game. They have no feel for the game. The Eagles have no identity. They're still trying to find themselves. And it's week 15, 16. I mean, seriously, you got 2 games left and you're still trying to figure it out. You're still trying to find yourself. I mean, as an offense, that's what you're trying to do right now. It's too late for that. Devontae Smith even said, we need to, we got a couple games to figure this shit out, and that's all you have. Really, since we lost against the 49ers, all I said was the one thing that's on the Eagles side right now is time. Time to make some changes. And what we have between we're not talking about the defense today, but what we have in our offense, I mean, literally, it's so fixable. It really is. It's not a hard thing to do. You have to cater to your players' strengths. You're catering to the analytics, and you're catering to what plays are a more bigger percentage of being successful against this defense at this certain time in the game. And that's not how you play football. How? You have no excuse. It's not like you don't have number 1 receivers, not a good tight end, not a top 2 offensive line. I mean, it's a fucking joke. And I support AJ Brown 100% because sooner or later, you're going to get pissed off. Now, I don't think AJ Brown said anything to the coaches directly, but that hasn't happened yet. Okay. Obviously, we saw some shit on the sideline last week, which is perfectly fine. It is what it is. Guys have to get vocal. The more that guys hold shit in, the worse it's going to get later on. I'd rather them be on the field and having an argument over it. I've had arguments with teammates when I played ball as well. I've had arguments with people, but they're fine. You're done. It's over. Once you have that argument, it's done. You reset, and that's it. You know what I mean? But they paint it to be a bad picture all the time when guys are arguing on the sideline and what's going on. But A.J. Brown, he deserves better. This offense deserves better. Us fans deserve better. Season ticket holders deserve better. People that just go to games have to spend $500 to $1,000 in a day deserve better than this shit that we have been seeing. Really, it's the truth. It's the truth to it all. And I'm tired of seeing it every single week. They won against the Giants, great. And they, without the 14 points, that would have been that's what we were supposed to do. Putting 30 points on the Giants was what we're supposed to do. Consistently, this team could put up 35, 40 plus points on any team this year, but they couldn't do it. Nick Sirianni's excuses, Brian Johnson is just an assistant at this point, and Howie Roseman is the blame of it all in this room. What players need to get the ball more? This is why Kenneth Gainwell is more of a running back star here, okay? It all comes together. All of it comes together. And I'm sick and tired of it because there's no doubt in my mind, okay, if the Eagles lose one of these last 2 games, and if they lose the first playoff game, one and done, whether it's 2nd seed, 5th seed, whatever it is, Nick Sirianni's going to get fired. But the problem is still in the building, and that's Howie Roseman. And I'm not saying fire Howie Roseman. I'm saying he's got to just let the coaches coach. Let them coach. And that's it. But as soon as these head coaches are once Nick Sirianni's going to get pissed off sooner or later because he's making himself look like an idiot every single press conference. Every single one. Makes himself look stupid. And what happens is he's going to get sick and tired of it. He's going to go up to Howie Roseman and say, look, I think we should do our own. Bye, fired, see you later. As soon as you question anything upstairs, you're fired. Pushback, you're fired. That's why they can't have a coach that has pushback and ego. They can't. They can't hire coordinators that have big egos. They just won't do it. But if it's trying to not be in a Chip Kelly situation, you're kind of already doing that. But the GM has all the power. And you're running this predictive offense. I mean, it's not fooling anybody. You have 8 plays in your playbook, and you wonder why players are fucking fed up. And some fans are like, oh, A.J. Brown's a cancer. Or, we've had those assholes that say all that shit. There's people out there that I know that have said that shit. People made videos on me that said that shit. And it's a bunch of salty babies. All of them that say that crap. I respect anybody's opinion. I really do. But how can a player not be frustrated right now? I'm surprised the whole team hasn't turned on the coaching staff yet at this point. I really don't. A.J. Brown just did a little bit of extra. A.J. Brown, quote unquote, said, I'm not going to do a press conference because, you're not going to like what I have to say at all. And because the Eagles, and he got himself more professional. He said what he had to say, got himself more professional, and just stayed away. Because if he opens his mouth, this locker room is going to get torn. The coaching staff is going to be torn. And that's just what's going to happen. You have the only reason, if they weren't going to the playoffs right now, I think a lot more people would be opening their mouth. I think a lot more people would be saying, fuck this coaching staff, honestly. Brian Johnson is a fucking assistant at this point. Nick Sirianni's ego is so far up his fucking ass, he can grab it out of his fucking throat. I'm not even kidding. This is why I question, why do the Eagles trade? Why do the Eagles get play? What's the point if you're not going to use them to their strengths? What is the point of hiring coordinators that are slaves to your scheme that you want? It makes no sense to me. I don't see these other teams in the league are not doing this shit. This is why, the Eagles can't hire. Like I said, we've had other head coaches before Nick came. This is why it was weird. Okay, it really wasn't weird. We already knew, but after that first year with Nick, or the second year with Nick, it was very promising. Okay, Nick hired Howie Roseman hired a coordinator from the Indianapolis Colts at the time, from Frank Reich. Frank Reich is the only reason why Nick Sirianni had a head coaching job with us. But Josh McDaniels, I don't know who else was even. Brian DeBoll was supposed to come here at some point, at least for a visit, an interview, and he didn't even pick up the fucking phone. You know why? Because everybody around the league, coaches, they all know how the Eagles run their shit. And it's not through the head coach making his own decisions. I understand why Howie Roseman is not giving coaches a lot of power, and I get it. But leave the drafting and make it a collaborative effort with drafting and defense and all that great shit. That's perfectly fine. Free agency. But it comes down to the playbook. You got to leave it to the coaches. You got to give some control over. You can't just hinder that shit. You can't take all that shit in one shot and keep it for yourself and just you're just being selfish towards the whole team at some point. But Howie Roseman hired a yes man. And then Nick hired Sean Desai, another yes man, to run his defensive scheme that he wanted. And because the Eagles do this shit all the time, they can't hire a new offensive coordinator. They have to hire and promote from within. Every time they promote from within, it's a controlling tactical thing. It's a controlling tactical thing that they do. If you hire from within, you can't be controlled. Howie Roseman can't be controlled. The head coach can't be controlled if he's hired from within. And Brian Johnson is helping with Nick Sirianni's scheme, because if you can all remember, Dave Spadaro was asking questions from Eagle fans a couple weeks ago, and somebody asked, does Nick run this offense? And Dave said, yes, the game plan absolutely runs around Nick Sirianni. And the coaches are literally the assistant coaches. The coordinator and Brian Johnson is piggybacking and is adding more to Nick's game plan. I don't know how Nick could sit there and hide this shit anymore at this point, because your players are going to revolt. Like I said, if the Eagles didn't have a playoff game, this shit would be blowing up in our face right now. And sometimes I wish we didn't have a playoff game, because unless they win a playoff game this year, which I really hope they do, but to be honest, I would love for the players to fucking explode on these coaches, but they're not going to do it because we have a season still. We have a chance still to do things in the playoffs, which is yet to see. The Eagles lose this playoff game, the first playoff game, forget it. It's going to blow up in their face. I know, I feel bad for AJ, because obviously AJ Brown has been like questioned about his work ethic, and it's like, dude, if you can't even scheme these guys open, like, how the fuck can anybody be successful in this shit? I don't even know how the fuck we got away with this shit for so long this year. I honestly don't know how they got away with. I don't know how they've gotten away with not doing anything in the first half of games, looking exactly the same, and then Hurts has to put the team on his back, and his receivers have to come up big, these running backs have to come up big, and the defense at times has to come up big. Like, it's crazy. And I wish that things were different. It's like you're wasting this opportunity away. When are you going to have a Devontae Smith and an AJ Brown on your fucking roster in a lifetime? We haven't had it this good roster-wise in so long, besides the Super Bowl, but this roster compared to that one is so much better in a lot of aspects. Except the coaching staff is shit. This isn't right. This isn't right. And you know what? AJ Brown deserves to not talk to anybody. And trust me, I'd probably be the same fucking way. I probably wouldn't talk to nobody. Besides the players, I wouldn't talk to fucking anybody. No media, no nothing. What's the point? They're just going to twist AJ Brown's words around. I mean, that's all they're going to do. Jeff McClain, Elliott Shore-Parks, all these fucking guys. And they're going to be, even after a win, he doesn't want to talk to anybody, because it was, number one, it was the Giants. Number two, yes, I know it was a win, but who fucking cares? Does this put us in the right direction? I guess. But did we look extraordinarily amazing? No. 16 weeks in the season, guys. 16 weeks, and we have to just be like, yeah, we look better against the Giants. I mean, that's good. I mean, and then you got Arizona, and there's no promise that they could win those two games. There's no promise they could win the NFC East. The Eagles control their own destiny right now. No doubt. They do. No doubt. But this other shit's got to stop. I mean, the coaches should blame themselves, and Howie Roseman should blame himself for allowing this circus act to continue the way they was. Nick Sirianni is a guy that talks about fundamentals. Like, what the fuck is this then? He hasn't said the word fundamentals in I don't know how long. Maybe he has, and he's like totally like, he gets pissed off when he gets. I remember he got pissed off. I think after the Dallas loss, he got pissed off, and somebody asked him about, accountability. You guys, where's the accountability? And he got so mad and defensive over it. It's like, sorry, but the GM is telling me to do this, and I have to make myself look stupid at these press conferences. Howie Roseman has a lot to answer to, because his hands are all over this shit too. You know what I mean? We might not even know what Brian Johnson really has to offer. Yes, he has the playbook in his hand, but if it's Nick's game plan and Brian Johnson it's what Brian Johnson is doing is what Matt Patricia's doing. He's taking over a fucking playbook and calling plays from it. That's all it is. That's all it is. There's no difference to it. No difference. So the only thing they've done so far is change defensive coordinators, or so-called. And that's fine. And I think it's gotten a little bit better. But is it good enough? No. None of what's happening right now is good enough. None of it's good enough. Yes, I know Eli Ricks is playing well, and, Keely Ringo. I know everything's looking good right now. But I'm not going to take just, yeah, we did all right. You know, it's good. You know, I guess we're going to do all right. No, I'm not. This fucking roster's too fucking good. I mean, I only talk about the defense too much because I know we have, like, you know, linebacker. I understand we weren't healthy all year like every fucking team. I get it. But offensively, you have no excuse at all. You're not using the right players. You're not subbing the right players. You can't get wide receivers open. Everything takes so long. There's no quick passes. We're not throwing slants. We're not using the middle of the field. We look like an 8-play Pee-wee football team. I mean, that's what we look like. Like, what is this fucking coaching? I'm telling you right now, like, this is how you fix this shit. How you fix this offense is keep everything. Make the players work for the yards. Why does everything have to be a bomb downfield? It's like they're fucking lazy. Between the QB draws that work when they do work or don't work most of the time, between the QB draws when you want to be lazy because you don't feel like making all these plays and all these route combinations, and you don't want to throw anything short. You don't pass as soon as Jalen Hurts gets the ball in his hands. He doesn't throw anything quick. Everything's robotic at this point. Defenses see it coming. Your substitutions, defenses know if it's going to be a pass or a run between who you're subbing in and out of the game, what players get the ball, what players don't get the ball. It's too fucking predictive. So this is just how it is. And you know what? If they go one and done, I'm not gonna be like so pissed. I won't even be pissed off about it. I'll be pissed about it, but I'm not gonna be surprised over it. Of course, I'm gonna be mad because of the opportunity we have, but this is like a wasted fucking year, a wasted year. And I never sound like this ever. I never ever sound like this, but the facts are in front of you right now. This team crumbled so fucking fast. And because the Eagles make no adjustments and don't change a fucking thing, this is what they're going to look like. Good for A.J. Brown. I'm fucking glad. I'm glad he kind of showed an example of, I'm not talking to the media. And this isn't towards really the coaches. Maybe it is somewhat, but this is just more towards like, I just want to play. And this is what Kevin Durant said during his press conference of the video that AJ Brown put up on Twitter. Kevin Durant was just like, I want to play my game. I want to go home. I want to come out and do my work every day. That's it. I don't have to answer to any of you. And trust me, AJ Brown don't got to prove a fucking thing. If AJ Brown only had 500 yards this year, that would say, dude, like, why is he acting like this? Like, what did he do this year? But AJ Brown did a lot of shit this year for us, dude. AJ Brown's got over 1,300 yards this season. Okay? Like, AJ Brown, like, is a big reason why we won a lot of games first half of the season. Second half was more Devontae Smith, less Devontae Smith in the first half of the season. He's the main reason. And obviously Jalen Hurts is the biggest reason too, in the offensive line and everything. The passing play doesn't work without everything working together. But AJ Brown did some shit this year. He had a great year last year and had a really good year this year. So I get where he's coming from. It's a one-on-one thing with the media. And it's not boiled over yet because of having a playoff game right now. So that's all I got to say. That was my rant for the day. I'm really tired of these. Like, I wish the Eagles could play 4 perfect quarters. I'm not perfect, but productive. Like, I wish we can get back to what we were. But this coaching staff, the control, the dictatorship bullshit going around, I don't like it. I don't like it. And that's the main reason why we failed this year. And I'll say I told you so. That's what I'll say by that time. So, you guys have a great day. I hope you try to enjoy your week. Sorry for making everything so negative, but this is just the facts. The facts are I'm going to support this team till the end of the year, but I'm going to be very fucking real. I said after that Dallas game that I was going to turn to a different fan that nobody was going to like. Me, not different, because this is my true self. Like, I don't stray away from nothing. I have congratulated and respected all the teams that have kicked our ass. I have give props where props are due. I don't talk shit just to talk shit. I put the facts in there, and I'm completely dead, brutally honest outside my skin about a lot of shit. So, and it's tough to be brutally honest sometimes, but it's hard getting the words out sometimes because you don't want to say your team is absolute garbage. They beat the Giants. They did what they were supposed to do, and it didn't look anything excitingly better because they still don't know how to use running backs. They still don't see that DeAndre Swift, get your offense going. They still don't see anything. Nothing. Weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks, and you still do the same shit. But they'll learn. They're going to learn, but they're going to learn the hard way. You're going to learn the hard way if you don't fix this shit. You're going to put yourself in a hole during the game. You're going to have a stupid something happen on special teams, something dumb during a game. It's going to, trust me, just wait. Just wait. I hope it doesn't, but just wait. So, it's just what it is, guys. But, if you guys enjoyed, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you like the video for, it does help out. Sorry. I can't even talk tonight. It's late. So, you guys enjoy the rest of your day. I'll see you guys on the next one. Shakes, what up? Boss, peace out, guys. Peace.